Once again, inflation is knocking at our doors like it's some sort of Cutco knife salesman. But the only thing that's getting cut here is our purchasing power on cash that is just sitting around. So how do we prevent our hard-earned cash from losing value over time? Well, one solution is to store some of our money in a high-yield savings account. Thankfully, there are a number of high-yield savings accounts available that offer significantly higher interest rates than traditional savings accounts. But with so many options out there, how do you choose the best one for you? In this video, we'll be taking an in-depth look at the top high-yield savings accounts currently available, comparing their rates, fees, customer service, and other important factors. Before we get started, please keep in mind that the information found in this video is accurate as of late March 2023. Some information is subject to change, especially the interest rates. The first savings account that is on this list is from Ally Bank, which seems to be a staple in the high-yield savings account world. Currently, they're offering a 3.75% APY on their savings account. And just to give you a point of reference for this video, as of now, the national average savings account interest rate is just 0.37%. Not only does Ally earn you much more than 5 times the national average, but they also don't charge you any monthly maintenance fees and have no minimum balance requirements. Those are two of the most important fees to look out for when you are researching for a new bank account. In my opinion, you should always choose a bank that doesn't charge monthly maintenance fees and has no minimum balance requirements. However, you do have some fees which you could see here, such as excess withdrawal fee and an overdraft fee. To be fair, you most likely will not incur these fees at all or very often. Also, regarding the excessive transaction fee, Ally states that they are continuing to refund this fee on saving accounts for now. That means you can make more than 6 withdrawals and transfers per statement cycle without paying the $10 fee. You could also rest easily knowing that your money is FDIC insured up to $250,000 per depositor. But other than having a high interest rate and little to no fees, Ally Bank also offers a convenient feature called buckets. With buckets, you can organize your money into smaller sub-accounts, which is useful to save money towards specific goals or expenses. For customers, this is a much simpler solution to have compared to owning multiple savings accounts to achieve the same thing. Although Ally Bank is an online-only bank, you still have access to 24/7 customer service through email, chat, or phone. However, one bad thing about Ally being an online-only bank is that you cannot deposit physical cash into your account. The different methods you can put money into this high-yield savings account is via mobile check deposit, online transfer/direct deposit, Zelle, and wire transfer or mail. As for withdrawing your money, you could do an online funds transfer, outgoing wire transfer, telephone transfer, or request a check. Moving on to our next best high-yield savings account, we have the savings account offered by SoFi. This has been my choice of savings and checking account for well over a year now, and hopefully I could show you why. Let's start with the incredibly high interest rate of 4%, which is the highest APY you could find in this video. There is one catch though to unlocking this high of an interest rate. With SoFi, you have to set up a direct deposit to your account in order to receive the full 4% APY. Without a direct deposit set up, you'll receive an interest rate of 1.2%, which still isn't that bad, but it's not the greatest. For the most part, direct deposits are fairly common, so most of you should be able to easily score the higher interest rate of 4%. Besides that, you can enjoy no monthly fees, no maintenance fees, no minimum balance requirements, no overdraft fees, and no excessive transaction fees. Regarding the no overdraft fees, they do require $1,000 of monthly direct deposit transactions in order to unlock that feature. They do have 24/7 chat customer service and customer service via phone call during certain times of the week. And just like with Ally Bank, your money is FDIC insured up to $250,000 per account. One weird thing about having SoFi is that you have to open a checking account and savings account together. You can't just have a checking account with them or just a savings account with them. Luckily, SoFi's checking account is still one of the best checking accounts that you could get. I know this video is focused on savings accounts, but here's some information about their checking account since you have to get one when you open an account with SoFi. SoFi's checking account earns 1.2% APY with or without direct deposit set up. It also has no monthly maintenance fees and no minimum balance requirements. All in all, their checking account is just as competitive as its savings account. But going back to specifically SoFi's high yield savings account, you also have a feature called vaults. It's essentially the same thing that Ally Bank provided with their buckets. You are just creating these vaults dedicated to specific savings goals such as home renovations, emergency fund, tax taxes, and so on. Whether it's with SoFi or with Ally, I would highly recommend using this feature because it makes it extra convenient to organize your savings. Once again, SoFi is an online-only bank, so that in itself comes with its own pros and cons. Just like with Ally Bank, one of its cons is depositing cash. The only way to deposit cash into your SoFi account is by first depositing cash into your SoFi checking account and then transferring it over to your savings account. And depositing cash into your SoFi checking account is a whole different ordeal that I personally don't like to deal with. What you have to do is go to a participating location, which is usually a gas station or convenience store. You then hand the cashier your cash and then swipe your debit card, and then all of a sudden your money will show up in your SoFi checking account. On top of that inconvenience, you are charged a $5 fee. Instead, you can deposit cash into your SoFi accounts by money order, mobile deposit, or my favorite, an ACH transfer. Also, SoFi does not work with Zelle at the moment. To overcome this hurdle of depositing cash into my SoFi account, I still have an account with a local bank, so that way I could use their ATMs and physical branches to deposit my cash into. Then from there, I send my money to my SoFi checking and savings accounts by ACH transfer, which is free and completes in about 1 to 3 business days. I would also use the same method for Ally Bank or any other online-only bank that don't accept cash deposits. Like I mentioned earlier, I have been enjoying my time with SoFi for the past year or so. And if you wanted to give SoFi a try, I do have an affiliate link down below where you could receive up to $250. I want to be completely transparent and clear here. In order to receive that full $250, you need to set up and receive a direct deposit within 25 days of opening your SoFi account. Then if your direct deposit transactions equal $5,000 or more, you will get the full $250 within 7 business days. If, however, your direct deposit transactions are less than $5,000, you will get $50 into your account within the same 7 business days. Thank you in advance if you do choose to use my link, as it does support me and my channel. Then next, we have the online savings account offered by Discover. Just like every other savings account we talked about so far, with Discover, you won't have any monthly fees or minimum balance requirements. Here with Discover, your money will be accruing with an interest of 3.6%. They even have a handy tool on their website to see how much potential interest you could earn every year. For example, if you have $4,000 on this high yield savings account, you will earn about $144 annually. Keep that up and just in a few thousand years, you'll be a millionaire. Or if you are a millionaire already, you'll earn $36,000 every year. But be careful, because although your savings account with Discover is FDIC insured, it still only covers up to $250,000. Once again, Discover is yet another online bank, so how do you deposit and withdraw money for your account? To make deposits, you could upload a check using Discover's mobile check deposit, complete an external transfer from another bank, set up direct deposit, or mail a check to Discover. You could then withdraw money from your savings account in the following ways: online transfers, wire transfers, or requesting a check. Unfortunately, you cannot use Zelle with your Discover account if you opened your savings account after March 1st, 2022. The other bad news is that you do not have bucketing or vault features like how we saw with Ally and SoFi earlier. But many of you out there might also have the Discover It Cashback card, so you would be pleased to know that your Discover savings account will use the same app that you already have. And with this high yield savings account, you could also enjoy the same 24/7 customer service that Discover users may already be familiar with. Following along the theme of major banks, American Express also has a reliable high yield savings account. Amex has a competitive 3.75% APY, which is on par with the other accounts we discussed so far. They also have the essentials of any great bank account, such as no monthly fees, no minimum balance required, and FDIC insured up to $250,000. Of course, since this is American Express that we're talking about, you could use the same Amex app as your credit cards, and you could expect the same great 24/7 customer service that comes from Amex. In order to deposit or withdraw money from your Amex account, you would need to transfer it to another bank account or send or request a check. That also means you cannot use Zelle for your Amex savings account. Basically, if you want a high yield savings account with Amex, you will need to have at least one other bank account where you can deposit cash into. This is a very bare bones, simplistic savings account, which might not be for everybody. If you are a loyal Amex fan and don't want extra thrills and frills with your bank account, then this could be an option for you though. But what if you do want those buckets or vaults for easy organization organization within your savings account, and you want to go with a bigger bank that you're already familiar with. Thankfully, Capital One has a high yield savings account to fulfill those needs. The Capital One 360 Performance Savings Account will give you an annual percentage yield of 3.4%. They named it Performance Savings as if it were some sort of sports car, but with sports cars, you usually have high maintenance fees, whereas with your Capital One savings account, you have absolutely zero. That includes having no monthly fees and no minimum balance requirements either. Like I mentioned earlier, you could also have the option to create multiple performance savings accounts or buckets for each of your financial goals. Other great features about a Capital One account is that you'll be FDIC insured up to $250,000. You could use the same Capital One app as your Capital One credit cards, and you could experience 24/7 customer support. You can make deposits by mobile check deposit, ACH transfer, domestic wire transfer, and even Zelle. You could then withdraw your cash via ACH transfer, wire transfer, or by visiting a Capital One branch or cafe. Capital One is the only high yield savings account on this list that gives you access to a physical branch to walk into. All the other accounts are strictly online only, while Capital One has more of a hybrid approach. With big banks like Capital One, Amex, and even Discover having solid high yield savings account options, it makes you wonder, what about Chase? Unfortunately, Chase still does not have a decent high yield savings account option. Hopefully that will change in the near future, since after all, it is one of the biggest banks in the nation. I also hope this video really encouraged you to open a high yield savings account. I think it is extremely important to have your money parked in a safe place that could also earn you hundreds or even thousands of dollars at the same time. Not just a few extra pennies like with your normal savings accounts. Let me know what bank you will end up going with in the comments below. Or I want to know what high yield savings account you have if it's not on the list that we covered today. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Shoots.